Welcome to Daxon Recaps channel. It'll be my pleasure if you go a step further to like, share this video and subscribe to my channel for more. It means a lot to me.
Funny, dude.
Bye, Mom.
Yeah.
Max woke up to find that his dreams had just been the stuff of pipes.
I have a family!
Now let's get to it. It's a game of deception and revenge. The movie opens with a series of mysterious killings. Two bookies are attacked and killed by unknown assailants, while a young man is taken out by a sniper in another location. Meanwhile, at a bus station, a man named Smith approaches a different young man and begins telling him about someone named Max and a strategy called the Kansas City Shuffle, a deceptive, double bluff tactic. Years ago, Max found himself in deep trouble after borrowing money from the mob to bet on a fixed horse race. However, the plan fell apart when the horse unexpectedly died mid-race. The mob didn't take kindly to losing their money and decided to make an example out of Max. They murdered him, his wife, and their young son, Henry. Smith finishes his story before revealing his own deception. He tricks and kills the young man he was speaking to, loads the body into a truck, and drives off. Fast forward to New York, where we meet our protagonist, Slevin Calabro. He's just finished shaving when he wipes the steam from his mirror, revealing a very broken nose. Before he has time to process much, there's an aggressive knock at his door. Wrapped in only a towel, he opens it to find a woman named Lindsay, who barges in as if she owns the place. She had been expecting someone named Nick but seems unfazed when Slevin explains that he's staying in Nick's apartment. Lindsay is curious about Slevin's injuries. He tells her a story of misfortune. First, he lost his job. Then, he found out his apartment was being demolished. Finally, he walked in on his girlfriend cheating on him. As if things weren't bad enough, he was mugged at the airport and punched in the face, breaking his nose. However, Lindsay notices something odd. The mugger never stole Slevin's expensive watch or bag. Before she can ask more questions, their conversation is interrupted by a ringing phone. When Slevin answers, the caller immediately hangs up. Intrigued, Lindsay dials the number back and discovers it belongs to a room at the Hotel Shavel. Believing Nick might be in trouble, she suggests they investigate. Before rushing off to work, she leaves but quickly returns, accidentally catching a glimpse of Slevin as his towel drops, leaving her flustered and embarrassed. Slevin laughs it off, but before he can relax, there's another knock at the door. This time, two men, Elvis and Slow, barge in, mistaking Slevin for Nick. They forcibly take him to see the boss, a powerful crime lord. Now, here's a dangerous proposition. The boss, who runs a high-security operation, doesn't waste time. He tells Slevin, believing him to be Nick, that he owes $96,000 in gambling debt. Instead of demanding repayment, the boss offers an alternative. Slevin must assassinate the rabbi's son, known as the Fairy, in exchange for clearing the debt. The rabbi, a rival crime boss and an actual ordained rabbi, has been accused of orchestrating the boss's son's murder. Seeking revenge, the boss wants the Fairy eliminated. After dismissing Slevin, the boss meets with Smith, the same man from the opening scenes. The boss questions why Smith hasn't killed the Fairy himself, but Smith only hints that he will be taking someone out, just not who the boss expects. Meanwhile, as Slevin leaves, two men in a van secretly snap a photo of him. One of them makes a call to a man named Detective Brokowski, reporting that a new face is in town. Returning to Nick's apartment, Slevin barely has time to process the situation before Lindsay shows up again, determined to investigate the Hotel Shavel. She believes they can track down who called Nick's apartment. While flipping through a newspaper, Slevin notices an article about a man named Slim Hopkins, a known figure in the criminal underworld, who recently vanished without a trace. He casually mentions to Lindsay that he actually met Slim, after he was already dead. Before they can discuss further, Lindsay rushes off when her phone rings. Alone in the apartment, Slevin is once again interrupted, this time by two men in Hasidic attire. They inform him that Shlomo wants a word. When Slevin protests that he doesn't know any Shlomo, they respond by punching him in the stomach and dragging him away. This time, he's taken to meet the rabbi. Slevin notices that, oddly enough, the rabbi and the boss live in buildings directly across from each other, too afraid to leave due to their ongoing feud. When Slevin meets the rabbi, their conversation turns into a battle of wits, but the rabbi eventually drops a bombshell. He claims that Slevin, still mistaken for Nick Fisher, owes him $33,000. With no choice, Slevin is given 48 hours to come up with the money. After Slevin leaves, the rabbi makes a cryptic call, confirming that a payment has been transferred and the rest will be sent once an old friend is dead. The old friend, Smith, with both crime bosses demanding payment or a kill, Slevin agrees to the boss's job and arranges a meeting with the fairy. Meanwhile, Smith works behind the scenes, manipulating events to ensure Nick Fisher's debts are called in, forcing both the boss and the rabbi into a vulnerable position. Slevin kills the fairy, but before he can react, Smith appears. Instead of attacking Slevin, Smith finishes the job himself, revealing that he and Slevin have been working together all along. They set up Nick Fisher's body and take out the fairy's guards before rigging the apartment to explode. Later, the boss and the rabbi wake up tied to chairs in the boss's penthouse. Slevin finally reveals the truth. He is Henry Mack, Max's son, and has spent years orchestrating his revenge. Smith, who was supposed to kill young Henry, had a change of heart and instead raised him, training him for this very moment. Slevin and Smith dismantled both crime empires from the inside, stealing financial records, eliminating key figures, and setting traps. They used Nick Fisher's debts as a way to manipulate both the boss and the rabbi into a corner. In the end, Slevin places plastic bags over their heads, suffocating him just as they had done to his father. In the final moves, Smith shoots Lindsay, believing she has become a liability. Meanwhile, Detective Brokowski receives a call and finally pieces everything together. Slevin Calabro was never Nick Fisher. The name was a reference to Max's doomed horse, and Calabro was a nod to Smith's old nickname. Brokowski suddenly realizes that years ago, he was the one who killed Slevin's mother to settle his own gambling debts. Before he can react, Slevin appears in the backseat of his car and shoots him. But there's a twist. Lindsay isn't dead. Slevin reveals that instead of killing her, he told her the truth and helped her fake her own death. In a final meeting, Smith hands Slevin his father's watch before disappearing into the shadows. As Slevin stands at the bus terminal, looking at the watch, he realizes his revenge is complete. The cycle of violence has ended, and for the first time, he is free. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and support me to grow this channel. Put down your comments below to let me know what you think about the events in this recap story. And also give my video a thumbs up, and share too for others to enjoy. See you on my next video. Bye for now.